to help you compete and win championships. And of course, some extra cash. Let's jump right into the show.
We are back. We are back with another episode of the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. Matt, Shane, and Jason with you guys tonight on this fine Thursday evening, the opening day of the Masters that all three of us have been vigorously watching all day long. So how are you boys doing tonight?
I am doing fantastic, sir. And I mean, I have been box score watching. I have not been vigorously watching. Just let me add that little asterisk. But I will say what I have been vigorously watching is the Chiefs beat the absolute poop out of the Houston Astros. So, oh yeah, sorry I said Chiefs, but I meant the Royals. So shout out to my brain being. I was thinking football already, guys. I'm sorry. It's almost football season. That's all I can think about. And also, F the Stros.
Yeah. So when he talks about the Royals, it's like, what are we, 12 games into the season? Hey. We got like 140 more games there, bud. So
yeah, just a couple. Just a few.
Got to cheer for something early.
Yeah,
got to cheer for something early on.
Hey, man, I'm going to wave this banner as long as we can. We won 7 games faster this year than we did last year. Like, it took us like 30 games to get to 7 wins. So
it might all be downhill from here, but hey, I'm glad for your optimism. But it feels like Christmas this weekend, Matt, because all I've been doing all day is watch the Masters. I even took tomorrow off work just so I could watch the Masters. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sitting my ass on the couch watching this golf tournament, and it's phenomenal.
And it's been an exciting one so far. I mean, obviously the weather played a factor early on, got delayed a couple hours, and then the wind picked up pretty heavily for the afternoon tee times. So it's been a fun tournament to watch so far. And Old Tiger, man, he's playing pretty good right now. Better than expected.
Yeah, he's hitting it, just like my child is hitting the trash can.
I can't hear it.
Oh,
I can't hear your child hitting anything. Must be that mic must really be doing work, son.
It is, I guess. But yeah, if you guys hear any background noise, sorry.
it's just a child. Okay, well, with that being said, guys, we are only 2 weeks and some change out from the fantasy I shouldn't say the fantasy football draft, but the regular NFL draft, and it's getting pretty exciting. Some names and things moving around from what we hear. So now it's going to be one of those things where who's going to make that first surprise? Who's going to make that first trade? Do you guys have a guess on that before we jump into it?
Who will make the first trade?
Yeah, or the big first, or the first splashy move. Chargers? Vikings?
I think the Patriots, maybe. I think
Okay.
they're taking the stance that 3 is not open, but I think that they're doing that more to drive the conversation and the price, because I think 3 is open because they're not a quarterback away from competing, and I think that they know that. I think that's one reason that he stated the Jacoby Brissett thing. However, they could stay pat and take like MHJ and just ruin everybody's life. So.
And his.
That would not be a Patriot thing to do, to draft
New
good wide receiver in the first round. I was like, who are they? I think it's going to be the Vikings that make a move. I don't know who they trade with, but my guess would be there's multiple teams in the top 10 that trade back.
What do you think one of those teams would be?
I mean, Chicago, I think, trades back from 9.
Yes.
It wouldn't shock me if they trade back twice. If they trade back from like 9 to 18 or like 9 to 20 and then trade back again till like late, and then they just stack up on picks because they only have 4 picks, which is so not Ryan Poles' game.
Right.
Right. And I feel like the Chargers should, because I don't feel like they have a good enough team in order to compete in the AFC West, and they need multiple good players, and they can get it with those picks.
I like those. I like that. I think what our plan is to do, we're going to maybe do a little bit of a podcast during the first round and make it live. And it'd be cool if our fellow, I think this is what we're calling our subscribers and our Patreon members, the parlayers, the official parlayers.
Yeah, the parlayers.
So if y'all want to join in, man, tune in with us. And with that being said, guys, our website is now live. Shane got it up and running. He built it, did it all. Looks real good. We're still tinkering with some things, but if you guys want to go over and check that out, it's the parlaypod.com.
Yeah, it's just www.parlaypod.com.
Go and check it out.
Yeah, and also we'll do like an actual live reveal on YouTube next week. Like I'll pop it up here and just show everybody all the tips and tricks on it. But yeah,
right. And Shane's
it's live right now.
He's been working hard. We're gonna have all our top 10. What we've gone over so far: quarterbacks, running backs. Tonight, obviously, we're doing the top 10 dynasty receivers. Our rankings on that. Shane's gonna have all that up on the website. So yeah, go and check that out because we're gonna start making that a lot more interactive. We're gonna set up the Patreon. I'm working on setting up the Patreon for you guys up on that website, so that way you guys can get access to all of our rankings, all of our bets, basically premium. Okay. You guys can check us out on our social medias. You can find Shane at Shane ParlayFF. You can find Jason at Jason ParlayFF, and you can find myself at Matt_ParlayFF on the old X machine. So go over there and check it out. All podcasting platforms, guys. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. You can find us on all of those. We'd really appreciate a 5-star review. Appreciate a follow, subscribe. Really does help out the show. So diving into tonight's episode, guys, do you guys have any news that we need to go over before we jump into the rankings?
Did we discuss Steph Diggs last week?
We did.
I was like, I thought we did, but I was like,
talked.
we did discuss that a little bit, but there hasn't been anything that's flagged my radar. That's massive for fantasy implications.
Is there anything new, Shane, on the Rashee Wright situation?
I can speak to that. He was officially charged with 8 different counts, he and the other driver.
Okay.
One of them was serious bodily harm. So he can plead down, and a lot of these probably will kind of go away with the burden of evidence. There's a good chance that he doesn't see any jail time whatsoever. But it's an unfortunate situation no matter what. And I think that the NFL will suspend him for at least 2 games. I think it's probably going to be somewhere in the 3 and 4 range still. But it kind of depends on what comes to light once the disclosure and like evidence proceeding starts, because that's the big thing.
Okay. So that's the newest news that we have on the Rashee Wright situation. I know a lot of people have been wondering about that, what's going on and so on and so forth, which obviously the NFL hasn't handed down any suspension. They haven't handed out any punishment or anything like that yet. They're still working out all the details with legal teams and so on and so forth. So keep your eyes on that. It might come down the line sometime. So sorry, I had a cough.
No, but yeah, I think that the league may give him a 6-game penalty initially, but he'll appeal it and it'll go down to like 3 or 4. I think that's probably like they'll want to make it a show of force, but I think on the appeal process it'll end up being like 3 or 4. So we'll see after the legal side takes its course, because the NFL will not do anything until the legal proceedings have happened, which we saw with the same thing happened with the Alvin Kamara case last year. So I'm expecting something probably in a very similar range. So 3 games and a big hefty fine.
All right. Well, if there's no other news, Jason, you have anything to add on that, or
No,
you want to jump into it?
He said it. Let's get it.
All right. Let's jump right on to do it. All right, guys. We are going over our top 10 wide receiver dynasty rankings. Now, remember, you want to catch up on the quarterbacks and running backs? Go back last week's episode, the week before that. Okay, those are our quarterbacks and running back rankings. And remember, we are disclosing these rankings to each other for the first time for each position. We have not gone over them together. So we will have consensus rankings go up onto the website as soon as we wrap up all these skill position rankings of our own. All right. So wide receivers tonight, number 1. Who wants to go first?
Jason?
I'll get it. Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay.
So with mine, I'm going with CeeDee Lamb. He's progressed every year since he's been in this league. He's a top 3 option. You can go 1, 2, or 3. I think 1, 2, or 3 are all the same for us. That's my guess. I don't know y'all's picks, but what he did last year was basically his breakout year, which we saw what he did in 2022, but his yards after catch is dangerous with that offense. If Dak has enough time to throw the football downfield, he's going to get open. He is going to be explosive downfield, and I love him going against the NFC division or NFC, yeah, NFC South or yeah, no,
Whatever division.
anyways, yeah, East, NFC
He loves
East,
him versus
yes,
everybody. That's the key.
yeah. Sorry,
He's got
it throws me
golf on
off
his
that
mind.
they're not in the South, but anyways, he's gotten better each and every year. I expect him to be better this year, even better than he was last year.
Okay. That's I mean, I don't hate the take. I really don't hate the take. Obviously, he's going to be up there. Shane, who do you have as your number 1?
I have Jamar Chase as my 1, and a lot of this hinges on T. Higgins being dealt. So that was my big difference between CD and Jamar. Jamar is a next level talent, and we've seen that time and time again. And when Joe Burrow's healthy, like even when Joe Burrow wasn't healthy, Jake Browning was playing quarterback, and Jamar still looked like the superstar we all expected. It did. Maybe he's quarterback proof. Maybe he's the guy that's quarterback proof. So that's why I put Jamar at 1 with a healthy Joe Burrow. Possibility of him being the only alpha in that room, Tyler Boyd being gone, T. Higgins being gone. Those are both big. Those are empty targets, man. And I don't know if you could give Jamar a ton more targets because he already gets like 14 a game, but let the man gobble it up. Pause. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let him get all those opportunities is what I meant.
All right. Yeah. So I actually had, I'll give you a little spoiler. I had CD at number 1, but I did change it to Jamar before we started the podcast because I agree with Shane after doing a little bit more thinking about the whole scenario for Jamar Chase. Without Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon gone, Jamar Chase with a healthy Joe Burrow is crazy good. And even in my opinion, if T. Higgins is even there, like Jamar Chase is still going to command targets. He's still going to get his targets. Joe Burrow was not healthy at all last season, and it was clear. It was very evident, very clear. Jamar Chase, like Shane said, is a next level wide receiver. He's got speed. His cuts are quick. His routes are crisp, and the guy can catch footballs. So, in my personal opinion, I personally think there's some internal turmoil in Dallas, and I think it's going to show this year because they have not done anything in free agency thus far to make that team better. And if T. Higgins goes, then like Shane said, they got nobody there that is going to even come close to the targets of Jamar Chase. So I have Jamar Chase at number 1 in my rankings, and I have CD at number 2. I don't know what your guys' 2 is. Shane, do you have CD at 2?
I have CD at 2, yeah. It was, again, splitting hairs, and I think the top 3 are all in a tier of their own, and then I think it's a tier down from there for everybody else. So I think that what Jason said earlier about like them being their own separate thing, like, yeah, the top 3, it's whoever's preference of A, B, and C. But they're all 1 in my honest opinion, but I had to put it in actual numerical form. So
I think my 3 is going to surprise you guys.
Ooh, I'm here for it.
Shane, so yeah, you have CD at 2. We don't need to talk much about CD. Obviously, Shane or Jason laid it out. Jason, do you have Jamar at 2? Are we all
I do have Jamar at 2.
Okay. So we can move on from those 2. Obviously, 2 amazing wide receivers. I'm guessing at 3, you guys have JJ.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You guys go ahead and give your explanation because I do not have Justin Jefferson at 3.
Ooh. So Jefferson, even without Kirk Cousins, I feel that he is such a difference maker on the field, and they still will have weapons with Jordan Addison and T.J. Hawkinson. So he's not seeing the press coverage that he was, and even when he was seeing the coverage, like the shell and stuff like that, he was constantly beating it. And he proved last year after Kirk got hurt that he's still pretty much quarterback proof as well. So I don't really care what rookie quarterback goes in there, because the one thing that I can guarantee is that offense runs through Justin Jefferson. And if he's gone next year from Minnesota, he'll be the alpha in whatever room he steps into.
Shit, give me the rock. I could throw to JJ any day of the week. 4 straight seasons of 1,000 yards. Last year was his first season to not have Kirk Cousins for the entire season, and he still balled out. He still showed that he is one of the best receivers in the game. I love him. Like I said, it's interchangeable between the top 3. JJ is basically the same age as Jamar, younger than CD. So I like his upside. The question mark is basically the quarterback, but in my opinion, it doesn't matter who you throw a quarterback with him. He's still going to get his.
All right. So you guys have Justin Jefferson at 3. I have him at 4. And it's real close for me. And this next guy I really do like. I like him a lot. I have Amon-Ra St. Brown at 3 for Dynasty.
Yeah.
And my big thing about the differences is if for some reason Minnesota does not go out and draft, or even if they do draft a rookie quarterback, I get it. You can throw JJ the ball anywhere. He's more than likely going to catch it. But Sam Darnold's not that dude. And a rookie quarterback typically does not really show out that fantastic in the NFL. Amon-Ra St. Brown is that dude. And him and Jared Goff have such a good rapport. They had Sam Laporta. Jameson Williams is there. And Amon-Ra still got his and still balled out. And the dude catches everything. His hands are so gigantic for the size of his body. He's fast. He's quick. He's shifty. I don't see any slowdown this upcoming year with Jared Goff. The rapport is there. Jared loves throwing the ball to him. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown could have a massive year. I really think this year could be absolutely massive, in my opinion. And for dynasty purposes, like these guys said, realistically, our top 5 guys can probably all be right around the same area. Like Shane said, you're splitting hairs. I think I just like the production that Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to give you this year versus Justin Jefferson this year. And it's all dependent on what quarterback's there. Maybe Sam Darnold comes out and surprises everybody, but I don't think he's gonna.
He's still younger than Michael Penix and Bo Nix, just saying.
You are accurate. Didn't he come out? When did he get drafted? How old was he? He was super young.
He was super young.
He was like one of the youngest
ever, right? 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he's turning 22 this season, and Penix and Bo Nix are both coming in at 23 and 24. So that's kind of crazy to me. Man's been in the league for 3 years.
It is nuts. I mean, that's just kind of my reasoning for Amon. I just think he's going to have have a more productive year than Justin Jefferson, and that's why I have him at 3.
I get that, and I had him on Raw at 4.
Okay.
I don't consider him on Raw quarterback proof yet, so that was my big splitting hair moment. And I should have maybe considered the 5th guy quarterback proof, but I couldn't quite do that either.
I think I know who it is. Oh, man.
Jason, did you have the Sun God at 4?
I have Sun God at 4.
Okay.
So we're all relatively somewhat the same.
Yeah. And then 5.
Okay.
I'll lead off since I already teased it. I have Garrett Wilson at 5.
Oh, that's not who I have at 5.
I'm interested to see who you thought I was talking about was quarterback proof. You're talking about a guy that received the ball from Zach Wilson all the year and still put up wide receiver 1 numbers. That's bonkers. Man, he was catching balls that were a full refrigerator away from him and making it look like it was nothing. You're telling me that man could produce the season he produced with the quarterback play He had his starting quarterback for a whopping 5 seconds and proceeded to still put up substantial numbers. He's one of the youngest guys in this group, and he's just going to continue to develop and ball. And I know that Rodgers is there in a short win window, and yeah, that worries me a bit. But Garrett Wilson doesn't worry me at all because the dude's proved that he is a difference maker and proved that he can absolutely do what it takes to be an alpha at the NFL level.
So who do you have at 5, Jason?
I have a Lake Travis graduate, Garrett Wilson. I agree.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you have Garrett at 5.
I agree with what Shane said. I don't think he's quarterback dependent because he does get open. He's one of the best route runners and explosive receivers that we have in the game. He's still very young, and Rodgers wasn't there the entire year, and he still put up 95 catches and 1,042 receiving yards. So, I mean,
With
that
Zach
right there is
Wilson
to
throwing
say,
the ball.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett Wilson is don't get me wrong, Garrett Wilson is a hella good receiver. For me, before I move Garrett up, because obviously Garrett could be where you guys are in my rankings, I need to see Aaron Rodgers. I need to see Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, and I need to see that they both can get it done before I really make that leap. Because I had Garrett Wilson on a lot of rosters, and yes, he got the yards. Yes, he got some targets, but he didn't get the touchdown. And that's not how you win fantasy, right? Like, the guy's athleticism is through the roof. Like, he could be on any other team and no matter what be the alpha on that roster. I need to see that Aaron Rodgers can get it done. That's why I have him a little bit lower. I mean, he's in my top 10, but I just have him lower on my rankings. At number 5, I have A.J. Brown. I have A.J. Brown at number 5. Listen, the guy's a freak. He's still a freak. He's 20, what is he, 26 years old?
Turns 27 this year.
26 years old. Yeah, I mean, he's still in the prime of his career. We know some of the woes with Jalen Hurts. You know, he likes to run. Tush push is very prevalent in that roster or on that team. And Jalen didn't really throw the ball a ton last year. And I don't know if it was just due to the fact of the scheme that they're running. If Dallas Goedert, I know Dallas Goedert is a massive like safety blanket for Jalen, but AJ Brown is that dude. Yeah, Shane rolled his eyes because he had Dallas Goedert on the roster. But no, Devonta Smith is there. He makes AJ Brown better. AJ Brown can get open anytime he wants to get open. The guy's just huge. He's a beast. He puts up the numbers. He puts up the catches. He gives you the touchdowns. And in my opinion, that's worthy enough to be at number 5 in my Dynasty rankings. He's still a young receiver. So he's proven it time in and time again. So that's why I have AJ. He's a little bit of a diva.
Most of these guys are. I honestly, out of all the guys we've listed, I think the Sun God may be the only one that doesn't have a diva complex. I think Garrett Wilson also doesn't necessarily have a diva complex, but the rest of them they're all pretty much divas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Agreed.
But that's who I have at 5. So, who do you guys have at 6? I might surprise you at 6 too.
I think I may surprise somebody, so I want Jason to go first.
Oh, okay. I'll go second then, Shane. Jay, who you got at 6?
Puka Nacua.
Damn it.
Okay.
So we didn't surprise one another. I don't know if he's quarterback dependent. I love him in McVay's
he's good.
And as long as Stafford's there, I'm going to keep on drafting him, or I'm going to hold him, and you got to offer me the house for him because of what he did last year. And I love the explosiveness. He's football fast.
I mean, the best rookie season from a wide receiver the NFL has ever seen. And
right.
He is a complete difference maker at all 3 levels in the secondary. Like, whether he is running a slant route, which he gets open just like a crazy fast slot receiver. It's insane. Like, the separation he generates in such a short amount of time, and he's big and strong, goes up and gets all the contested balls. He's the fact that they got this man in what, like the 5th round is just freaking crazy.
Stupid.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean,
and I think it's going to happen this year again too. I think there's going to be a receiver taken late rounds because there's so many, and one of those late round receivers is going to surprise people this year.
yeah, I mean, he's this generation's Steph Diggs currently. Like that's what he is. He's the alpha
like
that
that
showed up
comparison.
from
Good
the later
comparison.
rounds, and he has that chip on his shoulder. He plays like he's a bigger dude because I feel like he plays angry, and he's willing to do all the nitty gritty things. Like he's totally a coach's pet. Like he's down to block. He's down to like, So, yeah, Puka is my 6.
I like that. Okay, well, dang, you two are there. My 6 is Tyreek Hill, and I know he's an older receiver, but I cannot take away the fact of what he does every single year, and that's win you fantasy championships. This year's yet to be seen, but I just cannot see him. He might lose a tiny bit of a step, but his tiny lost step is still faster than your fastest guy's step. Like the guy just does what he needs to do to get the ball, score you touchdowns, score you yards, and put up massive, massive fantasy points. And until he cannot do that anymore or he retires, I cannot take him out. It was hard for me to take him out of my top 5. It was hard for me to move him out of my top 5 just because of the fact that you are getting consistent points. There's no, well, I hope this guy scores me points this week. When you put him in your roster, you can lock and load him in your roster knowing that you're probably going to get guaranteed at least 15 fantasy points. And for me, that's why I have Tyreek there. He's still one of the best to do it. And there's really not a whole lot of explanation else that I need to explain with that. Minus his age. But he's still there. He's still there.
I will say Tyreek Hill is not on my list of top 10.
That's shameful. Tyreek, if you are listening to this, you have permission to go back to Kansas City and just find Shane and whoop him down. Beat him down.
Little Keebler elf.
And then let me ask you this, Shane. Is the only reason why is he not in your list just because he's his age?
His age and Tua.
Okay. But what Tua did it last year. I mean, what Tyreek finished? Wide receiver 1?
No, CD finished wide receiver 1.
Oh yeah, CD finished wide receiver 1. Yeah, that's right. But he was definitely in the top 3. I mean,
yeah, I would assume so. One of my issues with Tyreek is, number one, the age. He's getting up there, and he is a player whose entire game is built around speed.
True.
And the game's only getting faster, and teams are only playing cover 2 shell more. I think that there is a very significant chance that there is a cliff in the near horizon, and I would rather move on from Tyreek to one of these younger assets than be holding the bag when the ship is setting sail. So,
yeah,
I would rather be too early in this situation for, like, considering it, like, dynasty wise. Like, I would rather be off of Tyreek into one of these guys who I think are very ascending talents than still be holding it next year when he decides to surprisingly retire. Or because there were rumors that this past year he was thinking about retiring.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, there was for sure. But here's where I'm going with it too. Like, if you're a team out there that does not have, one or two of these younger assets, or even more, and you have a roster that's built around, a Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Christian McCaffrey, guys that are getting a little bit older in age, where last year you were like, man, should I sell these guys now, or should I ride it and go for the championship? And say you did ride it and go for the championship, and you're left with these guys on your roster, and you know that your value is not going to be exactly what you want, you might as well ride them until they're done, because even if you start rebuilding, it's going to take you a couple years to rebuild. So you might as well ride and try to get another championship and then try to rebuild after that. I don't know. That's the reasoning that I was thinking when I was going through this list, because it makes sense. the cliff is definitely coming. We all know it's coming. It's just if you have them on your roster and you have a couple other old dudes that are getting up there in age, but you're like, dude, I'm gonna make one more run because I don't know what you can get for Tyreek now because I don't have him on. I guess I do have him on one of my dynasty rosters, but
I would assume you could
I
probably get
doubt
like the
someone
105 straight up or like the 103
okay, so you're thinking
straight up. I don't know if you'd be able to
Right.
get 101 or 102, especially in
but
like
you're
one
still thinking you
quarterback.
get first round.
Yeah. I feel like you could definitely get a first round pick for Tyreek. I don't think that his value has fallen that substantially, but I still value the youth of knowing that I have these guys on my team for 8-9 more years than I do of Tyreek having 2 years. And I say 2 with like a big question mark at the end.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
like if I have
Well,
him, that's
actually-
great. I'm not necessarily trying to move off Tyreek, but like yeah, I don't know that I would be trying to I don't know I'd be trying to move off Tyreek, but I wouldn't necessarily say no if
Well,
one of
let's
these
go through-
players were offered.
Let's go through with the rest of our rankings. Then I have a couple questions for you guys afterwards. So I had Tyreek at 6. Who do you guys have at 7?
Shane?
The rookie. Well, one of them. Marvin Harrison Jr.
I figured Caleb was in his top 10. He's going to put MHJ in his top 10.
I mean, he is a generational talent, probably one of the largest can't miss prospects.
And that doesn't exist. But if you were to
picture what you would want ideally in a prospect and think about the skill sets that you would prefer that individual to have, you're going to picture MHJ or pretty damn close to it. We're talking a guy that is built like a Greek god who catches the ball wherever it's thrown. He's played with good quarterbacks and did fantastic with them, CJ Stroud.